Hey Virgo, this is your April 2017 reading. My name is Dre. A few cards already fell out. Follow my Twitter if you want. I need an excuse to actually kind of use it because I don't really use it that often. So, yes. And also, if you want a reading, I'm leaving the information in the description box. And I think I'm going to keep those prices. They just work for me. So, yeah. A lot of interesting cards already, Virgo. And I'm going to need to pull more because there's more reversals than I expected. In your last reading, it was all about just sort of not taking ownership of yourself, but being selfish. That's a better way to put it. So yeah, being selfish is really important for you guys because I feel like you guys have been giving a lot of your energy to people that don't deserve it. And of course, the card that would come out is the Seven of Wands, which pretty much means exactly that. I'm gonna pull some cards for these kings, which I'm getting the sense that some of you are dealing with. I don't know, I'm getting a very masculine energy. Most of the people that watch my videos are female. So, again, gender, I try not to, but I'm getting a very masculine energy here. Patriarchal, somebody you're married to, somebody you work for, especially if it's a male boss. Yeah, I'm pulling for the Emperor too, even though I feel like he's sort of the reason why these other two kings are reversed, or there's a lesson there from that. I don't know. Okay, pulled a lot of cards. But, yeah, we have the Seven of Wands at the bottom, Queen of Swords, Six of Swords in reverse. We have the Emperor here, and what came out was the Five of Cups reversed, and the Four of Cups. Two of Swords reversed. We had the King of Pentacles in reverse. And what came out was the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups reversed. And you guys had an ace last reading. I don't know if it was Ace of Cups. I know you had the Ace of Pentacles. But the Ace of Cups really seems to be you guys' card. It comes out all the time for you guys. At least when I do your reading. Eight of Wands reversed. King of Cups reversed. And what came out of that was the Magician, the Hierophant, the Two of Cups, and the Page of Swords, along with the Three of Swords reversed, which is always good. Yeah, so I'm getting Strictly Love. I also got Strictly Love for Scorpio when I did their reading, because I'm trying to keep these as general as possible, but this is screaming a love relationship. So I'm going to start with... No, I'm going to start over here. Well, okay. Well, the overall energy, it being the Seven of Wands or Seven of Wands, is that you guys are on the defense. But it's more like you would prefer to be in this position, or at least that's the sort of attitude you have to come across because it's very stressful right now. Things are tense, but you're holding your own. You are. I feel like with the Seven of Wands, it's all about you've come to a point where it's like you know the ins and outs of whatever sort of battle you're in with somebody, whether it's like. You've sort of been down this road with this person before, and you sort of know how to deal with them, and you know how to navigate through that. And you're at a point now where sevens are all about breakthroughs. It's also a very spiritual number. And it's also to me about again breaking past a certain threshold, self-limiting, where you might just feel sort of worn down and tired, but you have to persevere and you have to move forward. So in a love relationship, that usually means just trying to fighting for compromise, fighting for understanding, fighting for speaking your piece and saying what's on your mind. And that's echoed here in this Queen of Swords, which is you guys having all of, I forgot which tarot reader it was. I watch most of the tarot readers on YouTube. But they mentioned that the Queen of Swords, she's been hurt before in the past. She's come through a lot. She knows pain. And because of that, she's able to be, she's not soft by any means, but she knows what's fair. She knows she's sort of like, I think of her more closer to the Justice card than all the other queens. And that she knows how to dole out justice in her own way. You might not like it. Whatever you have to say, people. I'm seeing this as you guys, of course. People might not like what you have to say. People might not like what sort of point of view you're bringing to the table, or where you're coming from, or what you're basing your judgments on or your decisions on. But at the end of the day, what you're saying is true. And it's more like you trying to hold on to that autonomy, hold on to that freedom that you have, that power, because there's a potential of it being wrested from you, or there's somebody that's really challenging it right now. Excuse me. Excuse me. And I'm gonna do something different. All the other readings I went row to row, but I feel like I'm seeing this as like a whole sort of thing. So communications right now, it's tough. It's tough because I'm getting the sense that something isn't reciprocated, that there's a lot of wasted energy here, that there is, especially if you're dealing with somebody, again, in a love relationship, I'm mainly seeing, it can also be work. There's only one pentacle here, and it's the King. But let's just say in general, I'm getting the sense that April is going to be a moment for you guys. It's going to be an important time for you guys to understand how, the impact of your words. Not just the impact of yours, but always the impact of other people. How other people perceive you and what they say and what they do. And they might try to throw you off balance, or things are tense right now. There might be a lot of arguing. A lot of frustration, a lot of mixed messages, mixed signals, where it's like you're probably having to expend more of the energy than somebody else is. And for some of you, it's this King of Cups who you've been involved with. And again, it doesn't have to be a water sign. Cancer, it could be a Taurus. I was about to say Taurus, because we also have the Hierophant here. But Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And I'm not getting a good vibe from this person. Some of you are married to them. But I'm getting the sense that there's this stubbornness with them. There's this fact that they can't, and I see you guys with this Six of Swords reverse, trying to sort of re-strategize, re-navigate, try to really come to an understanding with this person, with what they're saying, what they're doing. But I'm getting the sense that being around them is even more stressful than it needs to be. That is a very tumultuous relationship. Not necessarily toxic. I mean, it could be, but I don't see enough. There's not enough water energy here, really. And I don't see the devil. But it's just tumultuous, where it's like, you can't get relief from the storm. You can't get relief from the BS, from the frustration. Whoever this person is, male or female, is just really frustrating. And emotionally manipulative, especially with this Magician here. I'm seeing this as them and not as you. That this person has a way with their words, that they are able to sort of talk their way out of anything, that they're able to sort of get you to agree to anything that they're doing. And I feel like you see them for who they are, or it's going to be important for you to recognize when to call them out on their bullshit, when to call them out, when to sort of go back to the drawing board with them. Scorpio also had the Six of Swords reversed, and it's more about like trying to get to a point to where uh, the waters are calmer, at least in a way, in a sense. But I don't see that as being that easy. I'm seeing this as being something that you are. It's not that you can't free yourself from it, but it's like you'd rather fix it than before you go off and do anything else. And it's a situation that you feel confident and comfortable enough with trying to fix. And for a lot of you, it is a marriage, or again, it could be a work situation like an obligation. You just have like a very difficult boss, or even work could be getting in the way between what you and somebody else have. Like either they're working too much or you are. Either way, I'm getting the sense that there's a lot of obligation. Um, and, you know, whether or not it's you to a partner, you to a job, I'm just really getting the sense that you would rather, you're fine being here, you're fine being married to this person, working at this place, dating these people, if you're single and you're dating. Um, but I'm seeing that ultimately when it comes to like trying to find your moment of clarity, or when you're trying to understand, how can I say this? It's like you're here in the thick of the situation, and I feel like the only way for you to get big picture clarity is like the more you deal with this, the more you realize, like the more about this person you uncover, or the more frustrating this situation becomes. It's not that I see a breaking point, but it's mainly like you're just gonna get tired, or you'll find a new way to deal with it that's going to sort of change your mind in a way. Whether that's good or bad, whether or not you decide to come at this person from a new angle when you're trying to figure out how to deal with them in a different way, or try to um, or they'll try to come to you in a different way. I get that, or either you're just done. So either a new level of compromise and understanding can be achieved, or just you will realize that whatever here is unsustainable, or at least what's the word? Not irreconcilable. It's more like you two just, well, I guess that's irreconcilable, where you just can't meet eye to eye. And I feel like whoever you're dealing with, you'll understand that, or it's going to be so important for you to just stay on your guard, stay about your wits, stay smart, because somebody around you is trying to pull an over on you, or somebody is leading you on. That's sort of the energy I'm getting. And so with this Emperor reverse, again, the reason I'm getting that there is a huge masculine sort of energy here, we also have this King of Pentacles in reverse. And so I'm seeing like, if you guys aren't dealing with a specific male in general right now who's just really selfish or really self-centered or really wasteful, irresponsible, if you're not dealing with that particular in a person, you might find that it's existing in your outer world, where you're trying to, because I see the Five of Cups reversed and the Four of Cups sort of as a progression. Sort of. You've come out of this period of hurt, disappointment, especially with regards to your emotions and perhaps with love. So it's like you're trying, I'm getting the sense that you want, it's not that you don't want to open yourself up right now. It's more like you're just cautious, because I'm getting the sense, of course, that there's bigger problems at hand. Explicitly with one other person. Some of you might be dealing with two people, a water sign and an earth sign, an Aries, a Taurus. But either way, I'm feeling like it's gonna be so crucial for you guys to like try to, despite all this, despite all the negativity, and despite all the arguments, and despite all the confusion and frustration, you know, your emotions and yourself, who you are, you come before any man, or you come before any sort of obligation. Because I'm getting the sense that you're just more eager to sort of bury yourself in or distract yourself with either work or with trying to fix a relationship that probably doesn't have a chance to be fixed. I'm seeing it with both of these. But again, I'll get to that later because there's a lot going on over here. Um, but I'm getting the sense maybe that some of you, excuse me, you're like fearing boredom. You're fearing, or that's what you want. You want the status quo to come back, or you're waiting for somebody to change. You're waiting for somebody to either apologize, to come back to you, to sort of right their wrongs. And some of you might be just depending on that. You might be counting on that. You're probably figuring that how you're talking to them now, what you're doing to them now, um, how you're the approach you're taking to try to sort of meet them halfway or reach some sort of understanding. You might feel like you're making inroads, but don't be surprised if that doesn't happen. If somebody still sort of like shuts you off or closes you off. Um, it's going to be important for you to realize that the Hierophant is a very interesting card. I really like the card because, I mean, all the cards mean a lot of things, but the Hierophant, it's also about choices because the card after is the Lovers, and that's sort of more about sticking with whatever choice we made. With the Hierophant, it's all about, you know, in a how's the poem go? In a path in the wood there diverged a path, whatever. Whatever. You know what poem I'm talking about, Robert Frost. Um, but it's like you have a choice to make. Either you can follow tradition, follow what, especially if it's upright. This is really when the choice is yours. When it's like, and it's not anything stressful. It's more about you can either choose to go on the righteous path, whatever that means, which is more like, in my mind, it's more like traditional path. You know, you find a man, you get married, you have kids, and you do all that stuff. But the other end of it is like doing what's more better for you and not what tradition or your family wants. You know, and for most people, probably following family tradition is better for them. But for some people, that's not always the case. Where it's more like you have to just sort of follow the beat to your own drum. And I see that here. So this is really raising that question. It's like, are you following your true life path, or are you serving a false, a false ideology, whether it's in the form of a person or whether it's in the form of like an obligation or a duty? There might be just somebody in particular who doesn't have your best interests at heart. That isn't the proper person for you to serve. And so I feel like that's amplified here with the Hierophant. It's more like just follow your passion. What around you is an unnecessary battle? What is wearing you down more than it needs to? What are you willing to fight for and what aren't you? And so going forward, you know, there's this choice that will be made for you, essentially, is what I'm getting. Because the Two of Swords reverse, that's like it's like make it or break it. It's like, and it's especially with regards to love. So a marriage. Some of you might be in something with your boss. Right now, I can see that. Or, again, it's either a water sign or an earth sign. But again, the signs don't really matter. Either way, I'm seeing that there's several people here, two people, maybe just one, especially at least one person, where it's like, again, is it worth your time? Are they worth your time? Are they worth your effort? The Two of Cups is always, to me, I see it about the concept of love. Love, not just a soulmate union. I mean, obviously, it can be that. But it's also loving ourselves and understanding what we need, what we deserve when it comes to actual love. You know, the concept of love. Like, are we loving ourselves enough? Or are we just letting other people, or are we trying to find it externally? Are we letting people feel our emptiness within us, our sadness, or this void that we carry around with us? And I feel like whatever the answer to that is for you in your situation, is going to happen with or without you. Like, let's say you're with the love of your life, or you think they are, even if they've shown you otherwise. You know, if you feel like that is the person you're supposed to be with, regardless of all the pain they put you through, you know, you can't really complain when you have to revisit the same problems again and again. And it's going to be important for you to ask yourself, is this actually the person that you're meant to be with? You know, are they emotionally available? Are they actually there for you? Or are they just really stringing you along just because they know you'll listen to them? And again, that's echoed even more so here. Somebody around you is keeping a secret, or somebody around you isn't allowing you to get to know them, or whatever opportunities you're trying to get them to open up, or whatever you're trying to do to sort of fix whatever pain came prior to either both of you getting together, or you getting with them, or them with you, whether it's, you know, they have baggage from the past, or you do. I'm getting the sense that, if anything, this is this is an important chance for you guys to heal yourselves before you get to a chance or to a place where you can heal each other, or you can heal yourselves through each other. But that takes a lot of emotional maturity. And one of you might be more willing than the other. Neither of you might be willing at this point, but I'm seeing it all of these cards. Wow. Because when I first laid these cards down, it's really weird. I'm like, I don't know what's really happening because all these cards coming out in reverse, but now it's just telling me that, especially with all these major arcana cards, it's mainly about like how you guys have to recognize your own pain, recognize your own dissatisfaction, recognize what is true for you in a love relationship. You know, again, always you got fighting for what you want. Because with all these reversals here, it's more like it's a more inverted energy where it's like you want to sort of, you'd rather think about it, or you'd rather distract yourself from it rather than addressing it head on. And so this Seven of Wands it's not telling you guys, but this is the energy that you must come into, where it's like, now is not the time to sort of rest on your laurels or to get too comfortable, especially if your intuition is telling you that somebody isn't right for you, or that a certain situation isn't correct for you, or that some things need to change. And you know they do. You have someone, especially if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, or if you're an older woman, you have a lot of wisdom, and you have a lot of knowledge about how men should treat you, what men have treated you like, where you're going, like where you should go going forward, what sort of man you want, if you even want to attract another love into your life. Because I'm seeing if you're more of a younger woman, this energy is more complicated, because it's like you're still learning about you're still learning about people's intentions and whether or not you can actually fully trust somebody. Because one or two people is giving you the runaround. There might be a third person involved, but either way, it's like you're questioning. It's more like an existential thing where you're like questioning, well, is this, and how does this benefit me in the long run? That's the sort of question you need to ask yourself. Like, is this person good for me right now? You know, there's nothing wrong with having somebody that's good for us at a certain time in our lives for right now, but you can't, it's going to be important to not sort of bet the farm or bet your future on this person. You could be married to this person again, where it's just like, there's just these endless cycles of like, we're fine, then we're not. 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 And it's like, that's really when you have to ask yourself, like, because these decisions, this karma, you have a choice. But it's going to be important to not blind yourself to that, or sort of let your put your intuition off to the wayside just because you want love, or whatever your concept of love is. Because you've come from a place, they've come from a place, you're heading toward a place where, I've gotten this for every reading so far, where the answers, of course, aren't going to happen overnight. It's all a process, but there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of sadness that needs to be addressed. There are a lot of lies and a lot of secrets that need to be addressed. There needs to be a realization of what is actually not working and who has the upper hand over you. Yeah. Because I'm getting the sense that somebody, either they know they're using your pain to their advantage, because you're not seeing the situation for how sort of not brutal, unsatisfying. You're not seeing it for how unsatisfying that it actually is. So fight and stand up for yourself, Virgo, and don't put yourself or your feelings by the wayside just to please other people. Okay, so that is the reading. I will see you guys in a couple weeks, maybe. That's what I said about these readings, but my life is kind of crazy right now, but we'll see. But you will see me again later this month. All right, you guys, adios.